Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome back to the Game Haus. I'm back here with somebody that I consider a friend. He gave me an opportunity a while back to be on his podcast. And if you are a fan of Gears of War, if you know anything about the community, then you know the guy that I'm about to talk to. He's well known in the community for his skill, his talent, and all the wonderful things that he says during competition. I have with me NJCubano, and we're going to talk about an announcement came out January 25th. He has decided to come back to the Gears of War scene on a competitive basis as a coach for a Pridestark GG, and I'm very honored to have him talk to me, because this is a guy he has a podcast on Twitch with a whole bunch of followers. He has access to information that I wish I could have. So I have with me NJCubano. He's going to introduce himself, and then we will go from there. So, sir, go right ahead.
Absolutely. Bill, thank you again for having me on here. Guys, it's always good to talk to the community, be able to get my side of the story out. Like Bill said, I do have my own podcast, Gears of War Rostermania. It's kind of like an ESPN type of show for esports in general, and also for Gears of War, which I've been doing for 10 years now. I'm happy to be on here. I'm happy to talk to Bill. I'm on the opposite side of the seat today, which is absolutely awesome. I always welcome that all the time. I've been doing Gears of War for 10 years. I went pro when I was 15 years old. I am now 27. I'm more behind the scenes. Bill did mention that I'm finally back, which now that I thought about it earlier today before coming on here, the last event I was physically at was November of 2017. And as you could tell, we're already in January of 2019. So it has been quite some time. To clear it up, and Bill said it correctly, I'm coming back as a coach. I'm going to be coaching and managing the Pridestark GG team at Mexico City, which is next weekend, February 1st to the 3rd. The first time I'll be coaching. I'm absolutely ready for it. I bring the hype regardless if I'm playing or not. And I'm just happy to be here to talk with Bill today.
Very nice, sir. So sort of walk me through that thought process for somebody like yourself. I mean, you've been in the Gears of War community for a while, and you went pro. You're on a team and you competed, and then you got out. And so what was the thought process behind getting back in as a coach? I'm sure that you've had people talk to you before about this. So sort of talk about your thinking behind coming back. Sort of think the whole thought process behind coming back right now.
Yes, to answer that question, Bill, and to try to clear everything up, yes, I had been asked before to coach and manage other teams. The only issue I had, and obviously it was a good timing for me for this event, was the fact that, it takes a lot of time to coach and manage a team. It has to be worth it for me. As you know, Bill, you know me more than most people at this point. I'm a very busy man. I work full time. I have a career at this point.
Right.
I have my own home I have to take care of. I have, Gabby. That you know fairly well.
Yes.
I have a dog, so there's a lot of, I guess, things that came up. But this time around, one, it was Mexico City, which I know for sure is the biggest event for Gears of War, period. The community loves Gears of War. The last Mexico City event I heard was insane. And then two, it was also the people that I'd be working with. I'm not just working with people I've never met before or have never talked to before. You're part of that group. Way's part of that group.
Yep.
I've known Way for probably 2-3, actually, yeah, probably like 3 years now. Met Malcolm through him. So it's a great community that I'm working with. It's not just, somebody that literally picked me up for the event and that's it. I've known these guys for quite some time. And it felt right. Mexico City, I felt, was the event to come back for. One, it's in Latin America, and of course, NJCubano. I'm Hispanic myself, so I was like, all right, I got to be there. I haven't been to a Latin American event yet, and I thought this event would probably be the best one to come back for.
Very nice. And see, it's interesting to hear you talk about the whole thought process, because it seems like that a lot of people will just, you know, will just, I guess what I'm trying to say is they're so desperate for an opportunity that the first one that comes along, they'll just they'll just jump on it. And then you, somebody who's been around the scene for a while, who's a little bit more mature, you have a family now, you know, you just got married, you have a house, you have a full-time job, you have your podcast, and on top of this, you have to fit all this together. And you have to, and so being able to be around the right people who understand that while you are extremely passionate about gears, you also have other things that are outside of gaming that you do. So I think that's really interesting that you say that, because I I always try to bring a different perspective to this. Like, yeah, gaming is great, esports, you know, it's awesome competition, but we have lives outside of gaming. So the fact that you're married now, so when you first brought up this whole concept to your a wife who I will say right now, and I have no shame in saying that she is an extremely fortunate person. She's an extremely fortunate person. What was the conversation like with your wife right there?
It was actually pretty simple. So I had been telling her probably for it hasn't actually we haven't I didn't have it in mind to go to this event for that long. I would say maybe like 2 weeks max. I was talking to Way about it, and I explained it to her, and there was no argument, no nothing. You know, she understands
Wow.
that I'm very passionate about it. She knows that I love gears, and I haven't been to an event literally in over a year plus. So yeah, I didn't hit any roadblocks, which is
Wow.
surprising for an Hispanic woman. They're very passionate with everything.
You know, I have heard that. I've never experienced that firsthand, but I have heard stories. And in order to avoid causing fights in your home, we're just going to move on from that. We're just going to move on, and we're going to talk about your squad now. It, this sounds like it was something that was in process for a short period of time. So what was your thinking when you were, as far as scouting players for your team, and the whole conversation with finding players?
Absolutely. So it came down to this, and the process most people wouldn't know, and that's why it's great. I'm here to talk about it. So in Gears of War right now, the coalition is covering, sponsoring, whatever it is you want to call it, the top 8 North American teams, the top, I think it's top 2 or top 3 Latin American teams, and the top 3 European teams. They fly them out and they pay for their stay. So those teams are the ones that are being highly scouted. Most of them have gone picked up, and I would say the bottom 4, bottom 3 North American teams won't end up with an organization going into the event. And the only issue is because their asking numbers or asking price, whatever it is you want to call it, is extremely high. So I avoided the North American teams. I'm okay to say that. Just because their numbers were completely insane. Realistically, being a player for 10 years, like you've mentioned before, Bill, I always had sponsors. I always had organizations because I worked well with everybody. So I went to the European side. I went across the pond to try to figure a team, that one wants it, that one's not necessarily just worried about the money. They want to win, and they just want an organization that will back them up. So I ended up speaking with Ross. Ross is Warrior Guns on Twitter. He is the leader of the European team that we ended up picking up. They're top 3 in Europe. They went to the Galmida and the EGL Sheffield events in London. They placed top 3 all 3 events, and they're a good team. They've been around for a short amount of time, not as long as I want to with a team that I'm looking at. But they seem like they're very passionate. Just talking to the guys and getting to know them a little bit. It's Ross, it's Bruno, Pascal, Tom, and also Joseph. They're all good guys, and like I said, they're literally just want to play. They just want the opportunity to be able to show what they can do. I think this might actually be their first um, event outside of London or outside of Europe. Sorry, and that's a big deal. It's either a make or break for teams. But I think having the addition of me to the squad, I already told them, look, no matter what, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna try our best, and yeah, I'm happy with them. they're a top 3 team in Europe, so it says a little bit about them.
Yeah. Okay. And that's really, really really interesting. I don't think people really have a full understanding of what it means to scout talent, to find the right talent, and then understand that a team just isn't 5 people. When you're playing in a squad format, you need certain skills in certain places, and if one area is lacking, the if one area is lacking on your squad, then the opponents will see that, and they will exploit that. So your scouting process, the way you find players is really interesting, and I don't think a lot of people know that. So going forward now, so obviously, this isn't a one-time thing. So going forward, this is the first event. So in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, I mean, so as far as your thought process for the squad in growth and events and the things like that, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So yeah, going into this event, it was very crucial between the organization and between the team that we signed a one event contract. Only reason being, and I'm glad the team was very honest about it. And I think me over most organizations or most teams, that was a question I asked right away. And I asked the team, hey, look, of course, the end goal is always to stick together. My history of my team Raw Talent, we literally were probably the longest lasting team besides a couple others from way back in the day. I would say probably 3 teams had the same roster for a while. And but I get it. It's Gears of War, it's esports, teams make changes. Some people can't attend an event because, maybe school starts at the next event, they picking up a job that they can't play anymore. So I said, is this a one event thing? Do we want to make it a multiple event thing? Because there's literally only 2 events left, Mexico City, and the last location is to be said. And myself, the org, the team, it's going to be a one event contract, and it's kind of a tester for the 2. They want to see how we work with them, myself working with them, how the organization works with them, which I represent the org at this point when it comes to the event, and then we want to see how the players do. I'm going to be there. I'm literally going to be scouting them. I mean, I think they kind of have an idea about that, but I don't think they understand how serious I am with gaming and how serious I am with winning in competition. But I'm going to be watching them. I'm going to be able to give them all the feedback I have, all the information I have, the intelligence that I have from being on the field for so long. And we hope to see the best. But going forward, I definitely plan to stay with Gears of War. I hope to hear the last location being announced at Mexico City. Touching on a little bit of my show, Bill, I'm almost positive they'll announce that at the Mexico City event. If not, I'll be sure to release that information in advance on my show. But yeah, hopefully we do well out here.
Very nice. Okay, so you have the event coming up here shortly. What needs to happen at this event in order for so as far as this event? What needs to happen for you with the squad? Maybe some results, maybe some teamwork things. What needs to happen here in order for the team to, in order for you and the team to move forward together?
Absolutely. I need to see progress. Obviously, we have to. I'm pretty sure we're going into the event with the number 1 seed in open bracket, which is always good to have. The first couple of games are going to be easier games. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a landslide, but they're going to be easier games. So I want to see the progression through each round. I want to see them do well. Obviously, I want to see them make it into pool play. Pool play pretty much guarantees you, I think it's top 20 or top 24. That's still not good enough. I want to see them hit top 16. I want to see them hit every bracket. So you start at top 24, you win a game, you're top 20. You win a game, you're top 16. You win another game, you're top 12. I want to see how they do through each round. Granted, if we do lose, which is very, it happens to everybody. I've been there so many different times. I want to see how they take it. When you take a loss, it's just a loss. You get 2 losses through the whole event. And I want to see how they react to that. You'll see teams that take a loss and they come back even 10 times better, or you see a team that takes a loss and they're completely out of it. That's it. They're done. They don't even want to play anymore. They feel as if that was the event for them, which is never the truth. And that's kind of where I come along for the team. But I'm there to kind of just understand the team, kind of understand their chemistry, how they work with each other, how they take losses, how they take wins, and how serious they are about winning, and how serious they are about representing this organization and going forward. So there's a lot that goes into it, and like I said, I think I'm going to change that whole coaching aspect of a team, especially in Gears, because like I said, the coaching in Gears has never been too serious. We have seen it step up a lot. We have Ashes, who's done an extremely great job with Optic Gaming. The guy takes it extremely serious. Probably the best coach out there right now for Gears of War, and I want to be that guy, but I want to take it to a whole nother level.
Okay, so for you, so for you as somebody who's been in the scene for a long time, you've seen the game evolve. You've worked on, I guess, you've worked on both sides of the camera, both behind it and in front of it. You've seen a lot of teams come and go. Now, what about you? Because somebody who is new to the scene, they have the passion, they have the drive, they want to be good, they want to work hard. I know, as somebody who's been around a while, that as time goes on, you tend to get worn out. You tend to get worn down. The basic day-to-day grind, the handling the small things in the org, maybe one day as the team is practicing, somebody says something and to his teammate, he takes it the wrong way, and there's some drama there. For you personally, is this something that you want to do going forward? Was this just something that it showed up at the right place at the right time in your life? Because the way esports is going right now, you can turn this into a full-time thing. If you really want to, this is something that you can actually turn into a full-time thing. So for you personally, is this a situation that you're in long term for? Are you gonna do these two events to see what happens and then go from there?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question, Bill. And I expected that question coming into this. This is something that I'm kind of just testing the waters with.
Right.
Going to this Mexico City event. One was literally, like you said, it was just the right time and the right people. Working with Way and being able to have that familiarity with each other made it that much better to want to attend this event and to do this. If it was somebody else, I know myself, I probably wouldn't have done it just because I wouldn't know what to expect. I can't really trust, you can't really trust people, especially in esports world, if you don't know them and you don't have that relationship. So that definitely
Right.
helped me kind of go forward with this. I definitely plan to go to the last event, depending on where it is, depending on the opportunity. I spoke to Way, I spoke to Malcolm. I'd love to stay with Pridestark. That's not even a question.
Mm-hmm.
But long term, esports for me is more of a passion. It's more of a hobby for me.
Okay.
I do love doing it. I have casted, I have hosted events before. I obviously have competed before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just depends on what opportunities open up for me, and I have some opportunities building in the New York area, or the Midtown area, whatever it is you want to call. And I'm kind of just waiting on that. I'm more of the local guy. I'm more of the tri-state area kind of guy. New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has done an awesome job for the esports industry for me. So I'm kind of just hanging out, kind of seeing where things go. I do my show here and there, depending on what information is coming out. And if an opportunity arises, I'll take it. But definitely sticking to my career, which you and I both know, as law enforcement, which I truly enjoy.
Right.
And I definitely plan to do my 30 years. It sounds like a lot, but I'm about 4 or 5 years into retirement, and I'm enjoying life. So I definitely would keep both of them in my life for sure.
Very awesome, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. I know that you're a busy guy, and if I was you and I had the choice of talking to me or spending time with your wife, I'd probably want to spend time with her, because she's probably a lot easier to get along with than I am. But hey, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate your time. I always appreciate your work, and I see what you're doing with various events on the East Coast. Promoting things for the. I think I've seen things for the Microsoft Store a couple of times, and some other events that you're doing. So I know that you are extremely passionate about gaming, about the esports world. I know that I know when it comes to your podcast that there are some people that don't get it, and I sit and chat sometimes and watch those people go, what the hell did I just show up to? You're like, hey, this is how the man rolls, and I think that your genuine, authentic nature really shows through, and your passion and your joy for the community is one of the things that gaming desperately needs right now, because there's a lot going on. So, sir, thank you very much for talking to me. As we shut this down, is there anything else that you'd like to promote coming up for you?
Absolutely. I just want to say, Bill, thank you for the opportunity. Like I said, I love coming down here and talking. It was, awesome to be able to speak my own mind about the stuff I'm doing, which is so cool. But when I'm behind my mic, it's more of me doing the question asking and doing the listening.
Right.
So I appreciate you giving me that window, that outlet, I guess you could say. I want to just say, guys, anytime you guys want to watch some entertainment or you want to hear some of the esports drama, intel, whatever it is, I'm always live, twitch.tv/NJCubano. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at Mexico City next week. And follow me on Twitter at NJCubano. Super easy. Again, Bill can tell you the entertainment that goes on. And I'll be sure to promote this interview on all social media platforms. And once again, Bill, thank you for having me.
You got it, boss. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Game Haus YouTube channel. We have lots of other great content on the channel as well as on the site. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you soon.
If you liked that, hit the subscribe button for more interviews and other great sports and esports content. Make sure to also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date on all the news from your favorite sports and esports players and teams. From our house to yours.